brilliant speed with vibrant service, vibrant broadband internet.
There, it just turned 10:30, and it is time for Vibrant You. You two from Vibrant You.
Well, good morning, Jeff.
Hello.
It's us too from Vibrant You. Welcome to Vibrant You Live. My name is Shane.
And I'm Jane. Shane and Jane. See,
Shane and
we're just a
Jane.
rhyming bunch of people.
Oh, yeah. No, we like rhymes.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So, Jane, you have something you want to mention?
We've been spending a lot of time together since
Oh, my,
I've been
don't
on
start
marketing
rumors.
and sales, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
before there was you, there was Don Smia.
Dance Maria, yeah.
So Don, this is a shout out to you. I know that we had just seen you, and this just was perfect timing. So, we kind of joke and say that Shane and I are kind of like, we're work husband and wife because we do everything together. So, but before,
Marketing and sales.
Before there was Shane, there was Don. And Don, unfortunately,
How do you spell his last name?
SM.
EIJA, I believe.
I don't know. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, we had a kid in our class by the name of Samaya.
Yeah.
So he has decided to retire, and I had said that it was unacceptable because
You wouldn't accept it.
No, we
huh?
didn't accept it, but he's still doing it. And Dana, bless her heart, made some really homemade, awesome caramel rolls to celebrate his kickoff. So,
Oh, yeah.
so a shout out to Mr. Don. We're sure gonna miss you. You have been very instrumental in the last 7 years of making Vibrant more than vibrant. So
Right.
thank you.
More than vibrant.
Great job.
What was his job? I mean, what was his official
What does he do?
title,
He
I
does
should
everything.
say?
So first off, he was one of two to do the first install for Vibrant. And then he is the guy that talks to a bunch of people and gets them connected to the fiber internet.
Yeah, he'll stake a yard, like to connect from the main line or whatever up to the house. He will work with the homeowner to decide the route to go and things like that.
Oh.
And when it's overhead, he goes up on a bucket truck and hangs overhead wire.
Yeah.
He just
We had
he
right
does
after
it
our
all.
install, maybe a couple weeks later, there was a little issue, and he came out and found it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
And
Don is just, like I said,
they'll do it all.
unreplaceable,
Yeah.
going to definitely be missed.
Well, and that's a good segue. You mentioned some caramel rolls, right?
Ooh.
So
Yes, they're really good.
today's show or the topic is about
caramel roll.
well, not necessarily that, but
Oh.
maybe learning how to make them.
Okay.
Right. So it's peak garden season, and we're just going to talk about like the technology that people can use to maybe
Use the
how to-
internet.
Yeah, use the internet to learn how to maybe prepare some of those fresh garden foods, store them, can them, and that kind of thing. So that's what this show is about. Jeff, have you ever learned a recipe or a canning technique or a cooking skill from a YouTube video?
From a YouTube video? I haven't. I know those that have.
Okay.
That's fair enough.
And Jane?
You always pride yourself on, oh, my mom was a great cook and I have her recipe for this and her recipe for that. Those are great. And now the times are a little bit changing because people are able to utilize the internet and see who else does it and if they like that better. I know like YouTube channels, they have them specifically for canning and smoking. I know Shane's a big smoker, literally with cigars as well as smoking meat.
Right.
And then there's also, like baking tips and different things like that. And then my girls are TikTokers, and so then I get text messages with TikToks of what to make for supper or
Really?
a technique of how to shuck corn, just different weird things. And then you can do online cooking classes.
Yeah.
And then there's Facebook groups that talk about fermenting and preserves and baking, all that fun stuff. And so the technology that we talk about, Shane, you want to talk a little bit about YouTube?
Yeah, so YouTube, like I always mention that I stream more YouTube than anything else on my TV, right? So I watch a ton of YouTube videos, and it's a wide variety of types of videos. But I do like to watch the cooking shows, and a couple of my favorite ones. I don't know if you remember, kind of back in the late '90s, early 2000s, there was a show on the Food Network called Good Eats by Alton Brown, and he did a lot of science stuff with food.
Of course he did.
Yeah. And so I enjoyed that, but he's got his own YouTube channel, and I remember he taught me how to make a skirt steak by cooking it directly on the charcoals. Like you have your grill going, and then you take the skirt steak, you throw it right on the coals.
Really?
That sounds gross.
It does.
It's actually good, and the coals don't stick. You brush them off, you flip it over, and it only takes like 3 minutes to cook it, and it's done. And the skirt steak is real thin,
Right.
So that was kind of fun. And then I made a meatloaf. He had a meatloaf recipe. That one did not turn out well at all. I did not like that one. My wife makes a much better meatloaf than that. But anyway, it was fun to try. And another one I like to watch is called Tasting History by Max Miller. And he'll take recipes that he'll find like back in the Egyptian days even, and then he'll make a close proximity of those recipes. So, YouTube is a great place to learn how to cook things.
My thing is, and this is Steve Gretsch. This is why I said he was going to get mentioned on the air today. So Shane and Steve have cooking, or not cooking, but smoking in common. And so they were chatting about some stuff. And then Steve was going to make something. I don't remember what it was. He was telling me about it. And I'm like, that sounds amazing. Well, here it is. It's a website on Facebook. It's called Flavor, like the O-U-R at the end of that, and dishes.
O-U-R.
Yeah, and there's so many things. You can anything from salsas to pies to seasonings to meals. I mean, it's just amazing. And so when those pop up, I save them all the time. So I'm gonna make them because they just sound so amazing. And
yeah, I had a short rack of Steve's ribs, and that was really good. He just smoked some recently. He was telling me about that at a county fair recently. Gave me a small package, and I had those.
So speaking of smoking meats,
yeah. So some other like things that can help you cook are devices, like connected devices, and one of them being a thermometer. So I've got a wireless Wi-Fi thermometer. Actually, it's got 2 probes, so I could have 2 hunks of meat in the smoker, and then I know how each of them are doing. Because on my smoker, I've got an electric smoker, and it's got 4 racks, and the top rack seems to cook a little faster than the lower racks, and sometimes I want to kind of switch things around. But that's really cool. And if I'm just doing a steak, or if I'm doing a pork chop or something on the grill, I have a thermopen. It's an electronic thermometer that will read the temperature within a second.
Wow.
So and they're not inexpensive.
So you put a chop out there, you stuff her in there, and it reads back to your phone, or what?
No, for the smoker, yes.
Yeah.
But for the other one, that's a handheld one. It's not Wi-Fi connected or anything, but it's an electronic temperature probe, and I don't leave that one stuck in the meat, so I just go and temp it as I go. Like pork chops, you want to have them done at the right temperature. Steaks, everybody likes theirs differently, so you can check that. Chicken, you want to make sure that's well done. You don't want any salmonella there. So yeah,
you don't ever want any salmonella.
Well, right,
anywhere.
Exactly. And then there's like pressure cookers and stuff too.
So I have an Instapot, and I love making homemade yogurt, and that makes a bunch of it, and I don't have to worry about it. I just follow their little recipe and hit play, and off it goes. The other thing is, when I'm in a jam and I've forgotten to put like some type of food together, the Instapot is great from the aspect that it cooks quickly, and it's done to very tasty. It's not rubbery or anything like that. So that's awesome. And I know we've talked about the pressure cooker canner, that kind of stuff, and Chris does that.
My wife does that, and that again, it's not Wi-Fi, but it's electronic, right? And so she can get the jars and everything prepared, puts them in this canner. It's a Presto pressure canner, and pretty much hits the buttons and lets it run, and it brings everything up to temperature, up to pressure, the right amount, and then when it's done, it it slowly releases the pressure, and then you open it up when it's kind of ready to take out. So, yeah, that's kind of a cool thing.
And then there's some recipes that don't say add a cup here. It'll say, add ounces or, different things. You have to weigh your ingredients. And so digital kitchen scales are really good. I have one, and I use it with, there's a bread recipe that I do make, and it requires specific not weight as opposed to different things, and it's helpful. Especially the other thing is if you're on a diet and people, you're only supposed to have 5 ounces of meat or something like that, you can put that on your scale and weigh that so you're kind of accurate to what you're consuming. And then there's just a bunch of different apps out there too.
Yeah, there's a lot of apps that you can get recipe ideas from or learn how to make something. A couple of them, one's called Paprika, another one's Recipe Keeper, and another one's called AnyList. I personally will write recipes or even take pictures and save them in my Apple Notes.
Yeah.
So I have a recipe folder.
Yeah. Hers favorite one is called All Recipes.
All Recipes. Yeah. Oh, I've heard of that one. Yeah. That's a good one too.
I have my notes. In fact, I have a note called Recipes, and I put all of my recipes in there. And then, the thing that's neat, we had talked about how, I have my mom's homemade bread recipe and everything, and that's in her handwriting and her everything, and that's special to me. And so I've taken a picture of that, so it's going to be preserved for life, and then it's sitting in that note card. And now, my girls are starting to cook and baking, and they want those recipes, so I share that with them so they will have access to those recipes forever. So that's cool.
Well, and my wife and I talk about this too, that when we're older and we can't make all these good foods, we want to make sure our kids know how to make them so that we can still eat well.
Yes.
The older we get. And then there's fermenting apps, like if you're going to brew, if you're going to make mead or your own beer. Brewfather is one, Ferment Track is another one, and they can track batches. They can help you build recipes, record temperatures and things like that. So if you're a brewer, that's something that you can look into as well.
There's a lot of cooking content that's out there, and people post a lot of recipes, and it's really fun. There's sometimes that I love making banana bread, and I'm really interested in making different types of banana breads, and I can go online and look, and then I can look up ingredients, recipes. People comment about they've made it, then they put their recommendations in there, and when you start learning all that different stuff, you become a master.
Ooh,
baker.
A master, really.
Well, you try, right? And it's all about tricks of the trade, and you're kind of learning so you don't have to make the mistake. Someone else has already done that, so it's perfect. And people, you can get those on people post recipes on social media. Then there's gardening, like garden to table videos. They talk about how, they'll take a pumpkin and then they'll carve it and then they'll make pumpkin bars and just different things like that. And then there's the cooking channels and just different things. I love watching cooking channels, but it makes me hungry, unfortunately. and then
the technology to do this is really simple. I mean, all you need is your smartphone and a tripod and a good internet connection, and that's enough to get you started. So if people are kind of curious and they just want to share some of their recipes to the world, it's really, we're in the perfect time of of the century to be doing this stuff, because you can do it so inexpensively.
And
all you need is a good internet connection.
All you need is a good internet connection and your phone.
Vibrant You.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a click away.
Yeah,
that's right.
So speaking of food, we are going to be hosting Car and Bike Night. It's going to be their last Car and Bike Night, and we are going to be giving away 3 state fair packages.
Ooh, boy.
Well, three tickets, one package. So our big prize is one package, but it'll include.
But you're putting it in a little
3
package,
tickets.
and there's
Right.
Yeah, there'll be some
goodies
other
in there.
vibrant goodies
Yep.
in there as well.
Are you going to
so.
have some of those caramel rolls in there too?
Actually, they're going to be
Let's
too
get back to
old.
those.
They're
They'll
gonna
be gone.
They're gone.
They'll be gone.
Well,
Okay.
if you're going to be there, I can maybe make something happen. You'll just have to text me and let me know.
Yeah.
hope
I can
to be.
make something happen.
All right.
And then also too, September 9th, which is a Wednesday, it's 5:30. We are doing our cybersecurity Vibrant
Yep.
You. So if
Okay.
you have questions on hackers and scammers and AI, oh my, come and check it out.
Oh, my.
We're all about rhyming today.
Yeah.
And then any questions, give us a call, 693-3231, or check us out on vibrantbroadband.com. Catch the replay on Facebook or YouTube, and then search for Vibrant Broadband as well. Listen live every Wednesday morning at 10:30 on KLFD.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeff, for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you, audience, for listening. My name is Shane.
And I'm Jane.
Tune in next week for another Vibrant You Live.
Brilliant speed with vibrant service. Vibrant broadband internet. Vibrant broadband internet.